Dustin's Vinyl. Yeah. Hi, Anthony Kapfer on the axe, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I did a little ham bone for you.
Oh, yeah. I love the hand bone.
Ham bones. It's underrated instrument.
Yeah.
For our body. You know?
I can't do it. I
you can. You're a drummer. How can you not do a ham bone? You're a drummer, man.
Let's see the technique.
No, it's just you got to go back and forth. You do the legs, you do the thing, you know. You just whatever. You're doing nothing. You're just spazzing out. It's really just.
I'll sometimes drum on my chest or something like that, but I don't do it.
Just pretend you have a lot of mosquitoes on you. You're just like.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, this show is the worst. I'm gonna bring.
Is that it for our banter?
That's our comedy. The comedy banter is horrible. I'm gonna bring the guys in early. That's I'm off. You're definitely off. So yeah, but yeah. All right, we'll bring the guys in. Ladies, my other co-hosts, give it up for Adam Holtz and who's the other guy? Jeffrey Paul. Thank you. You guys have to save me. I don't feel funny. So I don't think Anthony and I can do good comedy banter today. So we brought you in. I was
enjoying the
save
ham-bone
us.
stuff.
No, you're funny. You're funny. It's me that I'm worried about.
1 minute in, Anthony blew it.
1 minute. He got the hook.
Like the Apollo. Damn man comes in with.
It was that ham bone. It was very disturbing. Come on, man. You're a drummer. You can do better than that. Anthony and I are what we call just straight comedians. Like whenever I'm the same way, Anthony. Like when we're like, and I guess Jeff's a little more animated, but he's not very good at it either. Like act outs. Like I don't.
I don't too.
I'm better.
Yeah,
huh? Getting better at my act out voices.
I wouldn't want to see that. I think it's like, you know what I mean? Like you're better at just getting angry and just going after your wife or all the stuff you talk about. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I think. Are you getting better? It's a phenomenal dancer. Now you're getting good at the acting. Come on. What's your act outs? Do you move on stage and jump around?
Oh yeah. Definitely a lot. You know what? As I'm getting more and more comfortable, you know, and like really like getting comfortable. I mean, I think your act outs kind of like, you know, especially when you're doing like a long set, when I'm doing like, you know, 30 plus. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I don't agree. I don't agree at all. I think it should be saved for like Jim Carrey. You know what I mean? Brian Regan. I think there's 6 guys that should do act outs. You know what I mean? Because they're good at it. What do you have a close? I feel like you have a closer. It's an act out. That's why you're saying this. You're like, I can't find my keys, and then you run around the stage. Like, where
are my keys? Ham bone. Yeah, it's a ham bone.
Now people are going to come see me. You're giving away my closer. It's a big.
Keys.
It's a 20-minute build up to where I lost my keys. And I go around the club looking for the keys, and then I find that they're in my hand the whole time.
Hey, this guy.
I like it.
We're all selling out. Anthony's selling out. You're selling out with your closer. I like it. Oh, how about you, Adam? What have you been doing? Just reading depressing magazines or something? What are you up to?
Just getting prepared for heading out to Utah.
I'm going to Utah. How long are you going to be there?
I'm heading out there Friday.
How long are you going to be there?
I think till Tuesday. Friday till Tuesday, or
just going to miss me. I'm going to be there the 1st through the 4th. 31st through the 4th. Well, we tried. Cool. Going to do some production stuff.
We're going to be back in time to see Dirty Honey, right?
Right. Dirty Honey and Mammoth.
Right.
You know, Anthony and I don't like you guys discussing concerts you're going to without us. Like, I think it's very rude because
if you guys would come back here, you know,
why don't you come here? Anthony's going to be here soon, and then you guys come up here.
Yeah,
we're going to be going to so many concerts together. Right, Dustin?
If I could afford California.
Maybe. Once you realize how tough California is, we're all working at Target. We're can afford it. I make it look really good on Instagram, let me tell you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's rolling pennies. Remember that? Rolling pennies? Like,
sure.
You had to put them in the thing. It's like that was intense. I loved it. My summers were just rolling pennies. Funyuns and Dr. Pepper for the weekend, you know.
then Coinstar came along.
Yeah.
Then you could just throw them in loose.
That's pretty kick-ass, though. I like Coinstar. Coinstar is funny, though, because you'll have a whole bunch of coins there, and then there'll just be random shit that's just in there. You'll be like Boy Scout medal, and you're like a paper clip. You're like a CD. You're like a squeeze CD. You're like, how'd that get in there? I was looking for that.
Wait, what is that?
What?
Coinstar?
Oh, come on. You know what Coinstar is.
I don't know what that is.
You put your coins in, it counts them up.
It's like
Where do you get? Do they have that in New York?
Yes.
I've never seen it.
One of the banks. I forget what bank had it.
Jeff's making good money, so he doesn't have to count coins. You know? Like he's not in a life where he's dumping a coffee can full of coins into a supermarket machine, and it gives you a receipt so you can actually buy groceries that week. Anthony, that's the life we're living. So.
Well, it's because of the act outs.
That's the difference.
I don't think so. No act outs. I'll die on this hill of coins before I do an act out. Hey, look at me! Yeah, I try it, and it just falls flat every time. And Nate's funny too, because Nate Brigazzi, he'll get up there and he'll try to do something a little animated, and it's just like it's so uncomfortable for him because he's just so used to not putting energy out. So I think it's just a thing. But sometimes, whatever. Anthony, you just have a guitar, so you don't need an act out. Like that's the energy. Like you just play the guitar. You could do like the guitar in a hard strum or whatever. Like that's your version of it.
Yeah, but I don't really do voices or accents, and I'm not animated when I speak. So yeah, I noted. I saw your work today, and stick to the guitar. Straight on the guitar. I think that's the way to go. All right, boys. I guess we got a show to do. I don't know. I think we should just talk about something else besides music. I always get tired of the things I do. You know what I mean? Like I did a podcast. We talked about, like comedy, comics. And then after a while, I was like, I just can't talk about my worst hell gig anymore. And then now with music, I'm like, all right, here we go. Another album. Next time, maybe we'll do VHSs next month. I don't know. Yeah.
I like switching it up, man. We'll do Dustin's VHSs or something.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
We could talk about like music movies. Like I just saw the Foo Fighter movie, the Studio 666.
Why do they let them do things like that?
Was it that bad?
Like
it was. I thought it was fun. It was.
Oh my God! Go away already! Kurt Cobain is rolling over in his grave for what he produced. Oh my God! Was it good? I guess it was
like
fun. The Beatles, like the Beatles.
Yeah,
movie,
yeah.
Right?
It was like the
Beatles.
It was like almost like a live action kind of Scooby Doo mixed with.
Except with the Beatles, the music was
Evil
really good.
Dead. What? Yeah. Well, the music was good because it wasn't really Foo Fighters songs.
Gotcha.
They were like they find this old tape of this band that died in the house before them, and it was like from Satan or whatever. And so then they're kind of stealing this song. It's like a
what's
kind
the name
of
of the band
thing.
that they're supposed to be?
Well, they're playing them, but the name of the fake band in the movie is Dream Widow.
Yeah,
and
they're coming out with an album.
Yeah, Dave Grohl's recording it. The single is pretty good. It's like kind of thrash.
Very heavy stuff.
It's just too much, man. Like there's so many bands that don't get a shot, and these guys just do every single genre. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You get to do a disco album, then you get to make a stupid movie, and then now you're going to do something. Now you're doing a fake band. Come on, stop it. This band just living in their van right now, just eating Cheetos, and these guys like, ugh. I'm over the Foo Fighters. I can't take it. I'm surprised you actually said that. I've never heard you kind of go, yeah, they're not. There wasn't bad songs because they weren't playing Foo Fighters songs. So I guess you're not crazy about everything they do. Which I thought you had
the newest stuff. I can't. I mean, probably like after In Your Honor, it's really hard to listen to their stuff.
I'm glad to hear you guys say that, especially what Dustin just said, because people just seem like anything the Foo Fighters put out, it's like automatically auto response. Oh, it's great. It's the best thing.
No.
I agree with you 100%. I'm tired of everything that they put out. Everything is great.
I think they're darlings. You know what I mean? I think they're super cool guys.
Cool guys.
And, and so I think a lot of that has to do with it. You know what I mean? They're not difficult.
100%.
Like Anthony's very difficult. So he has a harder time.
It's true. I'm like the grumpy Dave Grohl. Yeah, and I'm resident dick, so we all, so we all got a problem. The only one here is nice is Adam. I mean, Jeff's always talking. I'm driving Mercedes, so he's 1% privileged, so he's gonna have that wall to go against.
Again, it's act out money.
Okay, all right. All right, I'm gonna have to see that set. I think we're gonna have a coaching session on that one.
I like this roasted each other.
It's not roast, it's love.
I miss those days.
Stop getting me in trouble. I always get in trouble. Get me in trouble. And then Jay's gonna be like, "You roasted everybody," and then like I get emails, and I'm like, it's ridiculous. All right. Here's an album. I think I bought this album because of Adam, because Adam always liked this broody, period music, and this is for the. It's a horrible way to bring out Mazzy Star, but Mazzy Star. So tonight that I might see, I was not very familiar with her, but "Fade Into You" is a great song. What's the big hit on this one? "Fade Into You," right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big one. Yeah. This is good music. This is like, I enjoy buying music, that I don't know much about and then trying to enjoy it. This is from 93, I believe. So a lot of the 90s I missed because I was going through a religious phase. And so, so that's why a lot of my music thing is, just I'm catching up, if you will. But this is a cool album to just, light a candle and be depressed to. But it's what they call dream pop, I think is what this is called. What it's
or bedroom pop.
Yeah, bedroom pop, dream pop, something like that. But this is good stuff, man. And Adam and I share a, Cowboy Junkies thing together. And so anything they're definitely not, she's not that, but it has, kind of that mood to it, but Cowboy Junkies are a little more strings and things like that, a little more folky, but this is good stuff. You like them, Adam? I feel like you do. You like Mazzy?
Yeah, I haven't listened to as much of Mazzy Star, but I always enjoyed "Fade Into You." I always thought it was a great song.
Yeah, that's good. You get a little depressed, but
right.
Sometimes you gotta. Every one of your picks, Adam, has just been depressing. So,
except for Courtney Barnett, that was a little bit lighter.
Not really. It was still.
It sounded light though. If you didn't pay attention to the lyrics.
No, the lyrics were deep, but it was it was the I guess the musical arrangement was a little more upbeat, I guess.
I've been listening to her all week since the last show. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I'm digging it.
Really? See, I never listen to the ones you guys pick. But
I usually don't revisit a lot of these albums, but this was one of my. I like that more than the album I brought to the show last week.
Oh, we all did. Oh, yeah. He's a dick. Okay. For Irish American, sometimes it was tough, because there's not a lot of Irish bands that, I have like in my collection or whatever. But apparently John Fogerty is Irish American descent. I guess, that could be, I don't know, a grandfather or something. But Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah, Creedence.
Right? Creedence is a good stuff. This is a greatest hits, but it's a 20 greatest hits chronicle. It's really good stuff. This is the Fogerty album. It's you get all Susie Q, Proud Mary, everything's on here. It's like Who'll Stop the Rain. I that's one of my favorites. And this is good. You're gonna get Heard the Grapevine. A lot of good covers on this, I guess. Probably like 4 covers. I don't think that's the thing too. When bands get famous off of the covers, I always wonder. It's like is that cheating? When a band is like when they're bigger hits or covers. What do you guys think about that? I think that's a good thing.
Depends on the arrangement. The execution of the cover.
It's still. I mean, like you look at remember Alien Ant Farm. That Michael Jackson cover was by far the best thing they ever did. But they nailed it. I mean, they did a great job with it.
Mm-hmm. They cut out.
Did I cut out or did Dustin?
Dustin.
And Anthony is frozen. Everybody frozen?
Just you.
Anthony, you're okay.
There we go.
There you go. Now you're back.
You're okay.
Yeah, you're back. Yeah, you're back. What were you saying? We missed all of it. Yeah.
No, you were frozen. I think they heard me.
Yep.
I was frozen?
I think so. Yeah. I think they heard me.
I wasn't frozen. I heard. I would know if I was frozen.
I'm not frozen. You're frozen.
You're frozen. I'm right here. I'm warm. I'm not frozen.
98
All right,
degrees.
well, let me hear what we were saying. Smooth Criminal, right?
I was just saying it's by far the best thing they ever did, and they did a great job with it. But it does feel a little bit like maybe they could not write a better song than that Michael Jackson song.
Yeah, I think so. It's just, it ruins bands. I don't think you should be able to do a cover until like your fourth album. I think you should have to do your own original music, and then you get and then later on you can kind of do a thing.
And it shouldn't be a single. It shouldn't be your single. It's an album track.
Yeah, it's like
or a B-side.
Yeah, B-side. I agree.
Or a bonus.
Yeah,
bonus track.
That's what Iron Maiden used to do. And
what did they do?
They would every Christmas they would send out to the members of the fan club. They would send out a recorded version of a cover song, and probably the most famous one was "Cross-Eyed Mary" by what's their names by Jethro Tull. Pearl Jam did the same thing with the what was that song?
The Last Kiss. Last
Kiss. Right.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
That became a single.
Right. U2 did that with Everlasting Love.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And they were all great, versions of those songs. So I think it really sometimes comes down to how you change the arrangement up and the execution of it.
Yeah, you're right, I guess, but it still shouldn't be what people know you for.
Right.
Well, that's a shame if that's your only claim to success.
I mean, Creedence is a great band, but I mean, Proud Mary and let's see, what else?
But they have a lot of stuff that stand on their own.
Grapevine. I mean, people know them for those songs, is what I'm saying.
But who wrote Proud? Who wrote Proud Mary?
Oh, that's a good question.
Was it
Proud Mary? Who Adam,
they do the original?
You're here for? You're the fact.
I'm almost positive that's I Can Tina Turner's song.
Because I'm more familiar
I feel like
with
that's a
their
cover
version.
for them too.
Yeah, I thought it was a cover for them too, but I don't know.
But also, you got to remember
they covered it.
In the 1960s, bands did that all the time. Someone would come out with a release, and then two years later, there'd be a different version of that song coming out.
Yeah,
and then Elvis would do it. All right,
Vanilla Fudge did that with the Beatles. You Keep Me Hanging On.
Who? Elvis?
Oh, I'm sorry, not the Beatles song. They did do a Beatles song, but the Supreme song.
Right.
You Keep Me Hanging On. And they changed the arrangement completely, make it like a different song.
Yeah, I don't think it's cheap. I mean, that's what Carlos Mencia tried to do with jokes, but apparently people thought that was not cool.
He's a tribute act.
But it's interesting that comedy, you can't do that. It's like people get crazy about the jokes, but in the end, we're all doing the same jokes. We're all doing the exact same jokes.
There's 6 jokes in the world.
I agree. I think there's 4. But 3. There's 3 jokes in the truth. That's it. 3 jokes in the truth. So, Adam, did you find out who did Proud Mary?
Yeah, it's Ike and Tina Turner.
Good job, Jeff. Way to crush it.
I thought it was a cover.
That was 1971.
I thought that. Yeah, that's interesting because I thought they were covering the Creedence. I didn't know who wrote that song. That's great.
Because it makes so little sense for Creedence to cover that. I was like, oh, they must have written it somehow.
Yeah.
As a cover, I don't.
Well, it's Ike and Tina Turner, so you know that Tina got no money off that song because it was Ike. I'm sure it had something to do with that. So, you get $1. Now go get me a sandwich. Not a good dude.
Nope.
So Jeff, I'm going to start with you, buddy, because you're the one that does your homework. So what do you got for us this weekend? Oh, by the way, it's Women's History Month and celebrating Irish heritage. So that's our theme. And Jeff, what do you got?
I'm surprised we haven't really spoke about this artist before, but I picked 1978's Blondie, Parallel Lines. And, I was talking to Adam the other day and we were talking about this, and I was thinking that sometimes, you think about these albums and you go back and listen to them and you kind of remember them a little bit more fondly than they really are. Like, okay, this is a nice blend of pop, new wave, disco. I kind of looked at it as like an album of some really of her best work and biggest hits, Hanging on the Telephone, One Way or Another, Heart of Glass. And then I think the rest of the album is, okay. I don't, nothing at that level of what, the mega hits were. This album, when you listen to it, it's Debbie Harry and Chris Stein, who really are the driving force behind Blondie. I mean, Clem Burke, who was the longtime drummer, also was there. But they really capture and embrace the New York City scene in the 70s, like the CBGB's punk scene. This album, like I refer to it as a breakthrough album because it was #1 on the Billboard charts. It stayed there for 4 weeks and it charted for, a couple of years. So this was a tremendous album. And I think the song that everybody knows is, Heart of Glass. And in my opinion, I think it's almost like kind of like a sellout song. It kind of replaced the CBGB punk vibe with the Studio 54 vibe. If you kind of follow that analogy. My favorite song on the album, I love, still can't hear enough of it. I love Hanging on the Telephone, but it's actually a cover song. So we were talking about covers. Yeah, it's a cover song by it's a cover song by an early 70s band called The Nerves. But it's
track
the nerve of her to cover.
Yeah, but it's a different arrangement. This was a male who was singing it. She, and it fits the theme because remember the follow-up, the next song on the album is One Way or Another. So you're talking about like two type of like stalking type of songs. And One Way or Another reminds me a little bit of the Police, Every Breath You Take, dark, obsessive, but Hanging on the Telephone isn't the only cover on the album. She covers a Buddy Holly song called I'm Gonna Love You Too, which is not a bad
covers?
song. Yeah, 2 covers. Well, remember when we talked about Joan Jett? She had a couple of covers on
I Love Rock and Roll. I Love Rock and Roll was a cover.
I Love Rock and Roll, Crimson and Clover are both covers. That's Tommy James and the Shondells.
Yeah, she shouldn't exist.
She did. Her version is better though, but
doesn't matter, dude. I could do better versions of people's jokes. I've done that a few times, not a lot, but a few times.
Hanging on the Telephone is, they made it their song. Sunday Girl was kind of like the song that they used to play all the time in CBGBs, and it set them apart from bands like Television and all the bands that would come through there, the Dead Boys. It really had like that almost like Caribbean punky type of sound. If I don't know, I'm curious to hear what you guys think about Blondie and this album, and if you listen to it objectively, and just don't say it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's a good album, but it's not as great as I really remember it being. And I was on the fence of 2 albums I was going to do. I wanted to either do 10,000 Maniacs debut album or this one. I was like, I'll go Blondie. I thought it was the safer pick. And like I said, going back to it, it's not as great as I remember it to be. I thought there was like a bunch of filler on it, to be honest with you.
Well, I did not expect that because I think you said exactly what I was going to say about the album. Yeah. Thanks for letting us. Now it's all we want to hear is 10,000 Maniacs. So way to put that in our head. We wish you would have picked that one. We covered Blondie. Oh, I didn't cover it, but it was a random pool. Best of Blondie was last week. And I think that's the best way to listen to Blondie is like a greatest hits album. And I feel like I don't know all of their albums. This one, has all the songs that I remember. Hanging on the Telephone. It's a good way to get you into the album. I feel it's it's a great fun song. Beat song. And the thing is like, what year did this come out, Jeff? 78?
78. And it charts though in 79. That's where it stays on the charts.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'll say this boldly. I think the best, I know you guys will disagree with me. I think the best music was made in the 70s, 90s, then 60s, then 50s, and then maybe, the 30s.
Like the 80s?
And then like the Mozart days, and then we'll go 80s. So I feel things that are the experimentation of the 70s was, I think, just great music.
and everything from kind of just before disco took over or whatever. I mean, and she was playing in the midst of disco. So for her to kind of make an album that kind of played into a little bit, even Kiss was doing like disco-esque stuff. Yeah. So, but this is a good album. One Way or Another is a great song. I mean, it's funny how, she is kind of a stalker. I wonder who that person is she did these songs about. But
Dave Coulier, I heard.
Is that who it is? There you go. See, now you guys are getting it. That's all I want. Just be funny. I don't care. 11:59. I feel like she was always outside this dude's house. That's a good song. It's like 5 good songs, and then everything else it's still Blondie. So even it's like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's good because it's like her voice is amazing. She's a badass bitch. She's like the Lady Gaga of her time. Like she's like nobody's cooler than Blondie.
Yeah.
The fact that they kind of came through and paid their dues and found their sound and got their hits.
Definitely did.
And got their, their exposure. And she's an icon, I mean, Madonna took all that, it's like, so she's one of these people that laid it down and so many people were inspired by it. And so kind of like the next band we're going to talk about, but it's like, it's just sometimes there's people that just really are the first to kind of really take it to that level. And she was great. And she had a little Marilyn Monroe and a little whatever. It was just punk and everything kind of mixed together, which is nice. A nice little smorgasbord of music. But like I said, One Way or Another is probably my favorite song on here. And then, I skipped through a couple of songs, and Heart of Glass is a great song. But it was good. It was good to listen to it because it's like it definitely brings you to that place. You feel like a kid, you're just like listening to Blondie and driving your car. It's great. And that's that. What do you think, Anthony, on the old Blondie?
I mostly I like Blondie, but I mostly have also listened to collections. Yeah. So I'm not really. I was actually surprised that Heart of Glass was on the same album as One Way or Another. Because it sounds like there should be a couple albums in between. But I felt pretty similar. Like there's no bad songs on here, but I definitely felt like at certain points I was just sitting through some of these songs.
Skip a few, but they're not bad. You're just
not bad. Yeah. Still good. It's not torture or anything like that. It's just nothing is as good as the standout tracks, and I didn't know that one of them was a cover. And
Anthony, just to add to what you were saying, remember this album comes out in 78. It's written in 77. Okay, this is the height of disco and new wave, and this is a second album for them, right? Okay, so what happens is the A&R guy is telling them to check boxes, the way like bands check boxes now. Yeah. So that's why you have like your punk sound, you have your new wave sound, and then they added Heart of Glass as a disco sound on this.
Interesting.
And again, that becomes the breakthrough hit for them.
Yeah, it's a great song.
I'd like to hear Blondie a little more stripped down. I feel like a lot of keyboards, obviously. Big part of their sound, but I would like to hear because I feel like this can't be this. I mean, I guess it was the CBGBs. I guess they were doing keyboards and stuff there. It wasn't all just Iggy Pop rock and stuff.
And the sound is good. The sound was good in that room.
But I would like to hear without, stripped down. I think it would be cool to have Blondie's voice with, some just guitar and bass and drums and like that's it. Be fun to see. I don't know. There's a lot of bands like that I feel if you took the keyboard out, maybe it'd be a little.
I saw them live a couple of years back with Liz Phair opening up.
Oh, cool.
And they're still, and that drummer is still awesome. He was doing all kinds of tricks and throwing sticks, and they sounded great. They looked great. They sounded great. Well, most of them looked great. Some of them were getting up there, but they were great.
He was the first rock star I met and became friends with.
Who?
Clem Burke. He played in an offshoot band called The Colors, and me and my friends, somehow my friend John Trema became friends with him, introduced us, and we would go see them whenever they played. And that was the first time I ever went backstage on a concert, and kept in touch with a guy and who knew my name. That was the first guy.
It's amazing. Anthony.
Now you're
first
talking
guy.
shit. Yeah.
Anthony's the only guy.
We kept in touch.
A little too much. I can't shake you. One way or another.
It's not natural.
There's Anthony. There he is. All right. Be my neighbor soon. Adam, talk to me.
Well, first off, when you were talking about the decades of music, I got to agree, 70s and then 90s. And
I think so.
I think the problem with the 80s was the synth, the keyboard synth.
I think so. Yeah.
Just really,
there's some fun metal. Decade. There's some fun metal happening, but I feel like overall lasting music, it's good. You're going to go 90s and 70s, and I'm just rediscovering a lot of the 90s because I'm catching up. But it's so good, man.
Yeah.
Just that grunge. I mean, you kids were right about that grunge.
Yeah,
it's really good stuff.
Grunge.
So yeah, I mean this album, I hadn't heard Parallel Lines before. I've heard just like Anthony, I heard a lot of the Blondie collections. And the album, though, even without hearing it for the first time, it just had a familiar sound to it, because a lot of these songs just, you hear them all the time. The right when I got the text from Jeff that we were going to be doing Parallel Lines, I had the TV on and there was a remix on one of the commercials of Heart of Glass playing. So you could you just hear this stuff over and over.
Yeah.
But it's not. I mean, I think one way or another, Heart of Glass are still great songs. But I actually really like the filler on here. Fade Away and Radiate, 11:59. I was gonna say I'm Gonna Love You Too, but I didn't realize that was a cover. And actually, that song kind of reminded me of Rudy Can't Fail from The Clash.
Oh,
nice.
But I mean, it's Blondie. It's her sound is varied. It's enjoyable, and I really enjoyed the album.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. It's a good. I enjoyed it in the car. Like it was a good. It's that's you get a car thumbs up from me. But I love her. Deborah Harry is an actress.
Yeah,
like she's great.
Videodrome.
She's
great in Videodrome.
Such a kick-ass chick. She's like just that cool rock and roll.
Absolutely.
So it's like. She's really just great for music. So I'm glad she's around and produced all the great stuff she did. Very cool. So today, this is, we're always trying to do weird shit here because I get bored. So I wanted to do like a confessional thing. And I'm actually going to start with you, Jeff, so you can get ready. And then I'll do mine last because it kind of bleeds into my stuffs today. So I asked the guys, we could just kind of do like, something like like if you got a song wrong, like you thought somebody else sang it, or if there's like a guilty pleasure, or if there's like an embarrassing concert story. So it's kind of like music confessionals with Dustin's vinyl crew. So we'll go with you, Jeff. What do you got today?
I mean, I'm going to be kind of like vulnerable here. And I think you kind of know this about me, Dustin, but people don't. But I mean, I have embarrassing guilty pleasures, man. Like I drive around sometimes and I'll listen to like Broadway show tunes. I'll put on like cast albums of like Pippin. I love it, and I'm driving and I'm singing to On the Right Track, and it's like I love that shit, man. God, man, I was listening to Godspell this week. Lord Save the Children. I'll just get into a mood and I'll put on a cast. I love the soundtrack to what's the one about the Vietnam War? Miss Saigon. It's such an emotional one, So Aida. I mean, Jesus Christ, man! It's the music of Tim Rice and Elton John come together. It's just so beautiful and so fully. Oh, also today I'm listening to West Side Story. I'm driving around like Larry David singing Officer Krupke and cool.
When you're a jet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so gay.
I get it, It's like so it's so funny. It's like I'm actually into that. So like Moulin Rouge, I love. I like the.
It's
new
great.
version.
Yeah.
I thought they did a cool job. The movie, I like, that's why I like the Rocket Man movie. I like a musical movie.
Agreed.
So I'm really into that. I think that's a good time. I appreciate you, Jeff, being vulnerable.
So now you guys have a lot to make fun of me on.
We had a lot before, so it's not that you're giving us
your non-guilty pleasures should be guilty pleasures.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what that means, Anthony.
I'll take Pippin over John Mellencamp any day.
Yep.
Oh, you're an idiot. You have no idea. Come on.
We don't say the I word.
I'm just fighting with somebody. I was telling them about you.
Because you got all vulnerable.
Calls people idiots, Jay. Come on, man. That's not cool.
You say John Cougar Mellencamp is bad.
All right.
I don't like
this podcast needs to be a little more woke. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Nice to each other, everybody.
All I'm going to say is Bobby Bear Jr. Thank you.
Poor Bobby Bear. Can't catch a break.
What did he ever do?
What a dick.
Come up every show now.
We're getting a lot of
Which audience has spoken? Jeff, what a dick.
Right.
Probably to me, but I'm going to say it's for you.
I feel attacked.
That's all right. You should. But you were vulnerable, so it's fine. Let's go. Adam, what do you got? What do you have?
Well, first now I want to go listen to the Pippin soundtrack. That's one of my. I actually sang. I actually sang "Quarter of the Sky" back in middle school for an audition.
Oh wow,
that's great.
Yeah,
see that coming.
I saw the revival too. It was amazing.
Me too. It was, right? With that chick who was singing. It was great.
But
Andrea Martin played the grandmother from Second City.
You're so gay, Jeff. I love it.
Oh, shut up, Dustin.
And I mean gay in a beautiful way. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. So what do you got there, Adam?
All right. I'm going to go with embarrassing concert moment.
Yes, please.
All right. So back in 2012, Golden Voice decided to capitalize on Coachella by doing a Coachella cruise called the SS Coachella. And they were doing it for 2 weekends. So me and my brother see this. We're like, we got to go on this. We got to go. So we get tickets for the first weekend. It was like a 3-day fest heading to, I guess it was Bermuda, wherever Atlantis is. I think it's Bermuda or Bahamas, one of those places.
Atlantis is in the Bahamas.
Bahamas, yeah. But so everywhere you walk on the boat is about like 50 feet. Every 50 feet you walk, there's a bar, there's a makeshift bar, there's drinks everywhere. So the first night, me and my brother basically trade off the nights which one of us gets blackout drunk. Mine was the second night there. We go to so James Murphy of LCD Sound System is there, and they because it's a cruise, they throw these activities out there. So he does like a wine tasting. And I just get absolutely hammered there, mixing wine, beer, all this stuff. At some point I lose everybody I'm there with, and I end up
one of those drunks.
Shut up, Anthony. I've seen you cry to mailbox. Anyway, go ahead.
Hey, whatever. I don't remember.
So
I got video.
So Killer Mike is playing, and I'm like, I gotta check him out. I know, I only know him from Run the Jewels, but I go down. He's playing on a small stage in one of the auditoriums they have there on the ship, and I'm just absolutely out of my mind, hammered. I'm up in the very front, pretty much up against the stage, just jumping up and down, shouting, yelling, singing. I don't even know one Killer Mike song. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know, I don't know if anybody's around me. I don't know what's going on. And at some point, I just take a header right onto the stage. I had my beer in my hand. It's all over me. I'm just laying on the stage there as he's performing.
That's rock star, kids.
And I don't even know if there's a security or anything, but he picks me up mid-song, high fives me, and I just get right off the stage. I ended up getting a photo with him later too, and I got to see if I can find it. I don't remember. The next day I see it on my phone. I'm like, oh, I got a photo of Killer Mike.
You got to find that picture.
Yeah,
that's great.
That is amazing. That's gonna be my T-shirt.
That same night too. I think there was Grimes was playing, and there was she wasn't on stage. I forget who was playing, but there was a beach ball going around, and I take it and I just wing it as hard as I can behind me, not realizing she's behind me, just right into her face, just a beer-soaked beach ball.
You're a good time, Adam.
Right.
Yeah. I would have partied 15 years ago.
I'm just glad there was no. I mean, well, I guess that there were iPhones, but nobody filmed it. It would have been really embarrassing.
Oh, yeah, I quit drinking just in time.
Yeah.
Technology came out, and it's like, oh, okay, I would have been canceled in 2 seconds.
Oh
yeah. Anthony,
man, how am I gonna follow that?
None of us can follow that. None of us can follow that. It's all right.
If I mentioned this before on the show, I have some alternates. But when I was a little kid, I thought that on the David Lee Roth song, Yankee Rose, the spoken word intro.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, I thought that was Bill Cosby doing the
Bill Cosby, David Lee Roth, same thing.
Yeah, I thought
Dave didn't have to drug girls. Yeah.
So that was the one that I thought was another person.
That's great. This is great. I love this. This is silly and vulnerable. Vulnerable Dustin's vinyl. I like it.
Yeah.
Mine's not nearly as funny as yours. It's not at fault. Yours is great. Mine's not funny, but here's the deal: is I'm wearing this shirt, right, and everything.
Yes.
And so, one of my favorite songs is Black Betty. I think it's such a great song. And it's just a song. Every time you hear it, you're like, yeah, let's do some Black Betty. It's like you just can't not get into it. And so I've spent probably and this is recent, up until this week, I spent the last couple of years looking for the Thin Lizzy Black Betty song on an album because I just knew it was them. I've heard Ram to Ram or whatever, but I thought that was just part of because the song kind of says that. So I didn't realize that it was, I just knew that Thin Lizzy sang that song. And I've been looking for that track on all of their albums forever. And I realized this week that they did not do that song.
That's funny.
So
what's the name of the band that does do it?
Ram to Ram?
Ram Jam.
Ram Jam. Ram to Ram. Listen to me. I can't get it right at all.
I used to work at, Adam, you may know the bar. I used to work at this bar called Black Betty's.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and my friend owned it, and that would be like they played that like every hour on the hour.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it's an amazing song. For some reason, I just thought Thin Lizzy sang it. I had no idea.
I can see that.
Yeah, it feels like a Thin Lizzy song.
Yeah, it's got that 70s vibe to it.
Yeah, it's a good song. I think it's that band kind of a one-hit wonder. I think for them, they didn't really. I mean, obviously, I don't know anything about them because I thought Thin Lizzy sang it. So I have no credibility at all. Yeah, even my sign went out on me.
It was bands like Uriah. It was Ram Jam, Uriah Heep, Nazareth. They all kind of blended together. They all kind of had that 70s hard rock sound.
Oh yeah, Hair of the Dog is a good Nazareth.
Yeah,
great song.
That's good. So I don't know if we have much time to cover this album, but we'll give it a shot. We'll try to do this in a short amount of time. Thin Lizzy is a band that a lot of people talk about. I feel like it's one of those bands that if you know anything about music, you probably know they don't sing Black Betty. But comes up in conversation a lot of people that are that know their shit with rock and whatnot bring up Thin Lizzy quite a bit. Thin Lizzy consists of Phil and Knott, bass guitar and vocals, Scott Gorham lead guitar, Brian Robertson lead guitar, and Brian Downey drums. This is a really cool band. It's I love the name of the band, Thin Lizzy. It's better than the original name, which was Fat Lisa, and they had trying to keep it funny. Black Betty, Man to Ram. Okay.
It has that beat.
There it is. Yeah, that's what it is. The drums bring you in. But apparently this band, the Thin Lizzy was
the name of they got the name from a comic book, an Irish comic book, and it was I think it was Thin Lizzy, which was a robot that was in this comic book but with their accent, because they're Irish, they would say, when they would say 10, it would sound like thin. And so they'd be like, we're Thin Lizzy. And they're like, what? Thin Lizzy? What? Thin Lizzy? And then eventually like, yeah, I guess we're Thin Lizzy because nobody thinks we're saying 10. So apparently that's how they got the name, which I think is interesting.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
So, yeah, so that's that. This is, I love the format of this band because it's kind of like the Beatles. You got the bass player singing and, and playing the bass, and you get the two guitarists and the thing. So I think, it's unfortunate this band is not, kind of bigger than, they should be. They're definitely a great band. 72, I think they kind of came together, the drummer and the singer, kind of Lynott and Downey kind of ended up doing a song, some Irish music together, and kind of made this rock song that kind of like hit. Let's see. And then they kind of ended up with producer John Alcock. I said Alcock. He kind of put this band together. It kind of shaped them because they're kind of more, they kind of start leading into kind of a jam band sound. And I think this particular producer kind of like tightened their songs, and they didn't really like a lot of the work that he did as a producer because they felt like, this is what we do. And like, there was some, kind of some back and forth about how much guitar to add and things like that. And, it is definitely, when you hear it, the best part of the music is when there's doing the solos and stuff. So I can see those solos going on for like, Fish kind of quality hours where it's like it won't stop. Yeah. So I think sometimes these people have to kind of rein in the jam band. And so let's see. So this album came out in 76. This is, it didn't do amazing, but it kind of, got them off and running, I guess. Let's see. Let's break down the songs a little bit. Jailbreak. This is it was their first kind of radio hit. This was a kind of a soulful song, and I can relate to it because most of my family's been arrested, so I'm really into the idea of Jailbreak. It's and also you can hear you hear the beginnings of kind of a lot of metal music we hear now. And so it's like, that's the thing with this band. It's just, this band is like a base for everything that happened in the 80s when it comes to like metal, like hair metal and stuff. And so you see people just picking and choosing from this band. And it's kind of like, that's, kind of a standard for a lot of metal music. Boys Are Back in Town, it's our Jailbreak, sorry. Jailbreak's that song. Then we got Angel from the Coast is common. This is a good song. Kind of has, they sort of have a kind of a Grateful Dead feel. You sort of get some Jimi Hendrix thing going on. And then it kind of breaks into like this Allman Brothers, kind of jam band stuff. Running Back, apparently this was the original single that was before Boys Are Back in Town. This was supposed to be kind of their pop hit, and they didn't go with it. And they didn't like this. They brought in some piano dude, and like he played it, and they hated the fact that they brought in the piano, and because it's like sometimes you just want to be a guitar band, and it's like they fought over that. Romeo and the Lonely Girl, kind of a love song, never released as a single, but it's a fan favorite. Warriors, this is my favorite song. This song is so badass. I love the beginning of it. I love it. It has, and talk about Hendrix. I mean, he sounds like Hendrix when he's, kind of singing it. He has that feel to it. And then I found out later, actually, this song is about actually rock stars that did drugs. And it was kind of like this kind of like they're warriors because they know the life they're choosing and they're going to figure it out as they go. And this is, it's either going to work out or not work out. And so, as an addict, it's like I could relate to the idea of that. But it's just a really groovy song. There's really cool stuff. Boys Are Back in Town. That's most people know them from this song. It's, originally it was called G.I. Joe. And it was kind of a throwaway song. They recorded 15 songs for this album. They narrowed it down to 9. And in some of those 15, this was one of the songs, G.I. Joe. And then the producer was like, hey, I really like this song. And they weren't sure because it was kind of anti-war. But then they ended up, changing it to Boys Are Back in Town and became their big hit. And without this song, I don't know if people even know who they are at all. So this is like their big kind of breakthrough song. To Fight or Fall. It's a kind of a deep, tender song. kind of cool, powerful, fun, whatever. Cowboy song. Come on now. I love this one. I have cranked this song, this and Black Betty many times because this song is really cool because it kind of starts, Black Betty. It starts out kind of like, kind of an old kind of, cowboy movie song kind of thing, like On the Range kind of thing. And then it just goes into a riff. And it's just, I love this song. I've cranked this song up many times with my headphones walking to a gig and envisioned myself in a movie with this song playing. And I just really love this. This song should have been a bigger hit. I mean, it's pretty popular. People probably know it here and there, but I think this song should be a little more kind of a standard hit, if you will, in the rock world. Emerald is how they close the album. This is probably one of the best solos I've ever heard in my life. There's the solo, the dual solos and stuff in this song are great. And it's also kind of an Irish song about the invading of the Irish, people invading Ireland and all that stuff. So it's got a kind of a war message to it as well. But great album. It's like, Black Betty's not on this album, but it's definitely an album everybody should own. And I've really gotten into it and listened to it quite a few times in the past couple of days. So this is, that's my Thin Lizzy. And this is really cool how it does that. So
oh, nice.
Oh, wow. Love that. And so, yeah. All right, Anthony, what do you think, buddy? Would you like this album?
All right. So I like Thin Lizzy. I mean, Boys Are Back in Town's a great song. Jailbreak is probably my favorite song by them. In my late teens, early 20s, I was in a band, and I played drums in a band, and we used to cover Jailbreak.
Oh, nice.
So I've always liked that song. Actually, the name of the band was The Nerve, not to be confused with The Nerves, who we mentioned earlier.
Or The Verve.
Or The Verve, or The Verve Pipe.
Or The Perv.
So I like Thin Lizzy, but I felt similar about this album as I did about the Blondie album. I felt like there's some classic songs in there, and then there's some other songs, and the other songs are fine. I got no problem with the other songs, but they definitely, you feel the difference between Jailbreak and then like the rest of the album.
Well, Cowboy Song is good. Mm-hmm. Warriors is good. I think, I mean, Fight or Fall I could live without, but it's just, I still think this song, I mean, this band kind of fell apart, it's like guy got hepatitis. They fired the guitarist, everybody, they fell apart. So I feel like
Phil died.
Yeah, this is like this is like the message in the bottle, whereas the genie in the bottle. What is it? Genie in the bottle? Is that what
there's both. You can have a message or a genie.
What is it? Lightning in a bottle. That's
Lightning in a bottle. Yes. So many things in bottles.
I've done a lot of bottle. That's why our brain doesn't work. I've done like 3 concerts like that, Adam. But yeah, I think if they had kind of the same momentum that they had with this album, then they might have been a little bigger and been able to kind of cross over. So yeah, but
But I liked it. I thought it was good. Those are the strongest songs to me, is the 2 ones that everyone knows.
Well, you know what else came out in '76? Hotel California.
Oh,
great album.
The Eagles.
It's an album. I'll give you that.
Great full album.
A lot to compete with. Jeff, I'm sure it seems like you're kind of banned.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, there's not a bad song on this album. Not one bad song. I went back and listened to it. I tried to be critical and pick out something I didn't like. There's not a song. I think it's great. From the opening riff of that dun it. That's such, Jailbreak is great.
So good.
I don't even think Boys Are Back in Town, maybe because I heard it 2 million times. But I love Romeo and the Lonely Girl. Mm-hmm. Cowboy Song is great. Angel from the Coast is great. I mean, those are songs that really, really stand out. I mean, I can listen to the top 5 songs in this album and keep going back and not even get to the final 4 songs of the album. It is. I think this is an amazing album, a great band. I think it's a sin that they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when you look at some of the other shit that's in there.
Well, I think
they should be in.
Yeah, yes and no. I think this band had the talent to be in, but they don't have the body of work to be in. I feel like they need 4 Jailbreaks. They got 1.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. That's the only reason they're not in. This band musically is good as anybody, but I think that's what it is. Even old Pat Benatar, at least he's probably got 3 good albums, but she doesn't. This band has 1.
Well, we know that she has more than that, and she has a bunch of hits. But we're not talking about Pat Benatar. And I spared you guys Pat Benatar from my female pick. Okay,
I would have loved to listen to Pat Benatar album.
I would love nothing more for Anthony to have to listen on a loop. Loves it.
Well, we're gonna do that eventually. We're gonna pick the album for the person.
Yeah.
We're going to pick the album for the person. We're going to do that. We'll do that.
I got to say, man, when to re-listen to this album, okay, it was a
good listen. It was a really good listen. I had a good time with it.
You like you said, you throw this on in a car and you're driving to a gig an hour and a half away. Yeah. This is such a good listen.
It's great. And it's great on vinyl in your house. Like it sounds really good with the vinyl and the speakers up. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Adam, what'd you feel about Jailbreak?
So one of my favorite bands is the Hold Steady, and they actually do a cover of Cowboy Song.
Cool, man.
And they're influenced by Thin Lizzy. I had really listened to Thin Lizzy, outside of knowing the boys are back in town. But I thought this was a great album. Really liked Angel from the Coast, Running Back, Romeo and the Lonely Girl, Cowboy Song, all fantastic songs. And to bring it back to the beginning of the show, I found an article about the bands where their cover songs were their biggest hits. And I don't know if I agree with this, but they put Thin Lizzy on it, Whiskey in the Jar.
Well, they made the song. Right. Metallica covered it.
Was that covered Whiskey in the Jar? Is that what happened?
Yeah. Okay. Metallica.
So Thin Lizzy, it's their song. Yeah, that's right. Because that was one of their only big songs in '72 or whatever. Yeah, I looked that up. And then, Metallica covered it. Okay.
And Metallica does great covers. Their version of Turn the Page is an amazing version.
Yeah. It is good. Mm-hmm. Cover, but it's still cheating, even if they do a great job. It's like,
but they were already known, so it wasn't an Alien Ant Farm situation.
Great. And I like covers, but it's the best. I rarely go to a concert and a band doesn't play a cover.
Yeah.
Like it's rare when you go to a concert and they don't play covers. Like it's like there's always live band, and when they play live, they always play at least 1 or 2. And so it's and I just expect it. And when I don't hear a cover, I'm always kind of like, that's cool. You know what I mean? They did it on their own terms.
Styx doesn't do Rocket Man.
What's that?
Styx doesn't do Rocket Man.
I don't go to Styx.
I went to see Styx last week. They covered Rocket Man.
See, they didn't need to do that. There's no need for that. It's like, have they ever covered Rocket Man? Like that's just
they just did kind of like an impromptu version.
Don't do
of it.
That. Don't do that. Nobody needs that.
That is really strange.
Do your own stuff, kids. Do your own stuff. Even the things are changing in the pop culture. I think Kelly Clark and Snoop Dogg have a new show coming out. I can't believe I'm plugging this. And it's instead of the American Idol thing where they do somebody else's song, it's like trying to find the most original song. Trying to find like bands.
Is it written song?
Yeah, they're find like an original song, and it's like they compete against each other, but it's original music as opposed to always freaking covers on those shows. And so I think that's pretty cool. That's where we're headed. Anthony, get your songs ready.
I got working on 2 albums right now.
He is for Divorce. It's going to be a mega hit. All right, everybody. This was fun today. We're going to be, who knows what we're going to do? Sometimes we do confessionals. Sometimes we do whatever. We don't know. This has been a fun show. I love it like this. Thanks for listening and watching Dustin's Vinyl. Please follow us on all the platforms. We could use your love, and keep record stores alive. Shop, buy vinyl. Bye, everybody. Woo.
Bye, guys.
Good show, guys.
Good stuff.
Love you.